Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ones and Zeros podcast. Today, I am your host, Aaron Horton, joined by my fellow classmate in WACS News, Zach. Today, we're going to be talking about an open-world, story-driven game taking place on an uncharted alien planet called Subnautica. But first, Zach, what is the first game you beat start to finish?
One of the first games I beat start to finish was probably Mario Bros. U. I collected all 120 stars coins along with every single flagpole with every single character.
All right, today we're going to be talking about Subnautica. So, how does Subnautica start, Zach?
Subnautica starts with you and a bunch of other passengers on this giant spaceship crashing onto this giant water-filled planet where you have to survive, you have to learn about your environment, and you have to not die from fish that you know nothing about.
Okay, so you're in the water, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So, how do you survive in the water?
To survive in the water, you need to find different fish around your starting area that can either provide you with food by cooking them, or you can turn them into water using your fabricator, which is where you basically can craft anything that you need in the game.
So, what is the objective of Subnautica? Why am I swimming around this planet?
Your objective basically is to just explore your surroundings and learn more about the planet that you crash landed on.
Okay, so I'm exploring. I'm looking at fish. How do I progress them? How do I get farther into this?
You're going to have to find all these little tablets across the world called PDAs that contain phrases and story logs from your crewmates from the ship that you crash landed on about their experience with the planet. They all sadly died on impact. Well, not all of them. Some lived, but were attacked by a special kind of fish that you'll encounter later in the game. But you find those PDAs, they'll give you different blueprints to help you build stuff that'll help you out throughout the game, along with teaching you about your surroundings and your objectives of where to go.
All right, so now that I've learned things from these PDAs, and I know where I'm going, I'm seeing all these fish, I got all these resources, I'm pretty stacked. What is there left to do?
Basically, to get farther and farther into the game, where the game will start letting you know how to progress farther and farther, you have to explore deeper under the surface by upgrading vehicles that we'll talk about later. You have to dive deeper into the planet, going through large cave systems, and eventually into the core of the planet, where you'll experience the ending of the game. Well, pretty much the ending of the game, but the ending of the storyline.
So, the ending of the story, that sounds real nice. I don't want to talk about it too much. No spoilers here. But in your opinion, what is the coolest thing in the whole game?
I mean, personally, for me, one of the coolest things is just the entirety of the land, the entirety of the underwater portion of the map, along with like when you get farther into the game and you explore those caves. There's just so many new animals you see throughout the game that you'll be able to scan. You'll be able to learn more about them. You'll be able to learn their patterns. You'll be able to know where they spawn, and you'll know if they're like hostile towards you or not, along with just the scenery around it. There's this one place which is one of my favorites. It's called the Lost River. It's this giant cave system with poisonous gas on the entire bottom floor of it, along with skeletal remains of animals that used to be on the planet with you. Within those giant skeletons is more resources, different kinds of resources that you'll be able to use to go farther in the game.
All right, that does sound cool. I really like the Lost River concept. I think that's a really cool area, and I hope to explore it soon. Are there any other big obstacles we should know of?
Big obstacles, one would most likely be Reapers. I'm not sure how many there are, but I've encountered about 6 or 7. One of the main ones you'll see during like the first part of the game is they're called Reaper Leviathans. They're probably like top 3 with scary level due to just their like ominousity. because if you can hear them roaring, like I'm pretty sure they're like bats, where if they make noise and it like bounces back to them, it's like echolocation. So if you can hear them like screaming, then it knows where you are and it'll come after you. These things are horrified. These things are horrifying. They'll immediately track to your sea moth, and they'll try to grab it. They'll damage it, or maybe even destroy it, and that would be really bad for you.
All right. Rule number 1 on alien planet survival: don't get eaten. You don't want to get eaten.
And don't drown.
Yeah, don't drown. Yeah, don't drown. That's a bad idea. If you can't swim, good luck. Good luck. Honestly, good luck.
One thing that's really helpful for the game, especially if you don't want to be swimming everywhere, is the vehicle aspect of it, where you're able. Like one of the first vehicles you're going to be able to get. Most people don't like to refer to it as a vehicle. It's called the Sea Glide. It's this tiny little propeller-driven, I don't know, really craft that you hold in front of you. It'll give you a little map to show you where you are on the map, how far underwater you are, along with just making it a lot easier to traverse the area around you.
It also has a little flashlight, so you don't die in the dark alone.
Then later in the game, you'll be able to unlock more vehicles, such as the Cyclops, which is this giant submarine that you're able to bring. Basically, you're able to fit your sea moth under it, so it can power it, along with just you can carry it along with you. So if you're going like far away from your base, then you can just carry it with you and then just pop it out of the bottom whenever you need to.
All right. Thank you for telling us all about that. There's a couple other vehicles we're not going to spoil for you, but if you want to see the rest of them and explore the story for yourself, you should definitely go check out the game. Zach, if you had to rate Subnautica on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it?
I would probably give it an 8.5 due to just the entirety of its graphics. It came out, I'm pretty sure, in 2015, 2016, but with like modern graphics cards, and even if you have like maybe a low range one, the game will still look amazing. It'll still run very well. But the reason why I give it an 8.5 and not that 1.5 extra is because the game there's so many bugs. The game doesn't get very many patches like it used to because it's not very new, and they have, another game out now.
They have another game called Subnautica Below Zero. If you like Subnautica, the first one, if you've ever played it, or you're just interested in a different story, you can look at that one. That one's pretty good too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're both $20, and they're both on Xbox Game Pass for computers and Xboxes. So
you can also buy it on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zach, for coming in to be in this podcast. I really appreciate it.
No problem, man.
You should come on more. And is there anything you'd like to say to end off the podcast?
I mean, not really. If you're not planning on, spending the $20 or just buying the game and spending hours and hours to beat it, I'd recommend watching a bunch of different YouTubers like Markiplier. There's like pretty much every popular YouTuber out there has made videos like Let's Plays of the entire game. It's super fun to watch. So that must mean it's definitely worth buying. So you should just stop messing around, go buy it. It's real fun. You should. All right. That's all for the Ones and Zeros podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Horton, and we're logging off. See you later, guys. All right, we're done. Yay.